Welcome to Dear Sharita, where you guessed it, I'm Sharita. And thank you for tuning into my channel. So today I wanted to do something a little bit different. I know if you've seen any of my other videos on my channel, you notice I may be sitting behind my desk or doing something very different. I am in my office. No, I have not shared at all, really, maybe a little bit about who I am, how, and just any personal things. So I wanted to have a little different take on the video today and maybe even start including some of those types of things in my channel. So let me know if you want to know a little bit more about Sharita and who I am and the person that I am, and I will be glad to share more information. Like I said, I think I'm going to be adding more of that on my channel. So today, I just wanted to tell you a little bit about kind of what I have been having going on. Um, so I think I mentioned maybe in a couple of videos before, I am an entrepreneur, and I have been for several years now. So, when you are an entrepreneur, you know that things go up and down. Sometimes the business changes, and I just want to talk a little bit to someone that might be feeling or having some thoughts, because prior to me being an entrepreneur, I had always worked on a pretty much on a 9 to 5. And even when I had a 9 to 5, I always had some type of outside um, source of income. So it was always something extra happening on the outside of the 9 to 5. But I've always typically had a 9 to 5, and I've kept that as my steady or more consistent income, because usually anybody that knows what I'm talking about, you know that when you have those type of things on the outside, you typically it varies. The way you get paid is the consistency is not the same. So you always want to make sure that you have something that is consistent. So the past 5 years, however, I have been just solely in this world of entrepreneurship, which has been fulfilling, yet very difficult at times. So the thing is, one of the things that, you know, I've experienced is that you tend to don't have, again, the consistency of the finances coming in like you're used to. So it's very difficult to kind of create a system. And I kind of had to rethink my whole plan, my whole system of how I function with my finances and all those sort of things. So after I've decided, and I've been thinking about this back and forth on and off, that maybe I should go back into the work field for a 9 to 5, and then continue to, build my business, and then maybe later coming back out when the business is built to the place that I desired to be, or you know, to a more comfortable place for me. Um, and so the thoughts have been in and out about that. And I just wanted to say, initially, I had thoughts. I felt bad because I was like, well, I feel like I didn't give full entrepreneurship, the time that it needed during those times when I was thinking that. So I just wanted to, maybe I'm not, trusting myself. Maybe I'm not believing in myself. Um, and all of those things, all those different thoughts came to mind. So I did get to a point where I did apply for a few places, but I didn't really put in any stock. I was like, okay, so if I can't get what I'm asking for, if I can't get what I'm looking for, then I definitely won't compromise on that. And I'll just stay where I am and continue to do what I've been doing. And so that has brought me to this point where I have still continued to do. And part of the process is in the field that I am in. Sometimes I am, you know, working with insurance companies and those types of things. Sometimes you have to be approved to be able to work in the field that I'm in. I'm a counselor. I also teach different types of classes. I have a lot of certifications to do a lot of different things. So in this field, when you have your own practice, you have your own office, and you want to serve people that have insurances and those sort of things, you do have to go through approval process. So I've been going through a lot of those different processes, and because of that, it does take time. And so I have right now come to this point again that I think I want to go into back to a 9 to 5 for a time period again, for that level of consistency, so that I can make sure things are continuously functioning in my world while I continue the business. So just for somebody that is just thinking, oh yeah, I could just do this, you can definitely do it. But just know, when you make a decision like that, it's definitely not easy to do both, because I'm not going back into a 9 to 5 and just putting down my entrepreneur, my practice. That's not what I'm doing. Because ultimately I do still want to build my business, but you have to make sure that it's something that you can manage, because it will be time consuming. Because anybody that's running their own business in any way, you know that it takes a lot of time. Sometimes you're not working, regular hours. And in this circumstance that I'm talking about, I would be typically working Monday 9 to 5 on another job, while then getting off several days during the week, probably every day, continuing to build my own business and putting in time to make sure that I don't let my dreams die down as well. So I just wanted to be encouraging to someone, because before, honestly, I had to encourage myself. I just didn't, I've talked to a few people, and they've been more like, oh, well, you should just go get a job. You should just go get a job. And, sometimes when you are an entrepreneur yourself, and even other entrepreneurs, if they see that business isn't going the way it should, they may tell you just don't to not do it. And I'm definitely not going to give up. I think that in everything that we do in life, things are going to come, obstacles are going to come, but we can't give up. And I am not a give up person. I've never given up. Going into a little bit of my own personal, story. Back when I was in college, I want to say I was I was in my last year for sure. And during that time, I did end up being pregnant with my first child. And at that time, I had a lot of people that just was like, oh no, you need to take a break. You don't need to go to school right now. You just need to wait. And that just was not an option to me, because my thought is always, at that time, my thought was, I'm not, I'm just pregnant. Like, I understand it's important, but being pregnant didn't stop me from doing anything. Like, I could still read, I could still walk, I could still talk, I could still do everything I needed to do that it took for me to continue to go to college and continue to get to the point to graduate. So I just didn't feel like pregnancy was something that could stop me. And then even in that same time, I had my children very, very close together. So after being pregnant with the first one and carrying her along and walking on campus and even taking her to classes with me a few times so that I could try to make it through the semester and through the year to get my degree, prior to me ending, I was pregnant again. So within a time span of my daughter being very young, not even a year old, I was pregnant again. And this time I was even closer to the finish line for me obtaining my degree. And I was encouraged once again to just go ahead and stop for a while, which I did not want to do. I did have to stop for a small time frame then, not knowing when I did stop, I was already complete with all my classes, so I really could have graduated at the time. But I did find out a couple of months after I had him, that, oh no, everything is good, you can just walk. So to me, giving up is not an option. When I put my mind to something, I'm definitely going to do it. I don't feel like me putting my business, not even putting it to the side, just going back into the workforce is a setback in any way. I feel like it is just a step forward to me getting to where I need to go. And I feel like if that's where you are, and if that's something that you've been thinking about, and that's something that you feel like doing, I think that there's nothing wrong with that. And you just have to determine what's best for you, what's best for your family, and what you need. I definitely would not encourage anybody to put anything more on themselves that you can handle, but definitely consider if it will make things a little bit better for you. Just know that there's nothing wrong with that. There's so many people that run businesses and have a 9 to 5 job that work for someone else, because a lot of the work you're working for somebody else anyway, especially if you're in a service field like I'm in. I provide a service. So because I provide a service, I'm going to always be working for people to a certain extent. The service that I'm providing is to people. So I just don't have the mindset of, oh, I don't want to work for anybody else. It wasn't even about that. It's more so about wanting to build, wanting to pursue my own dreams, which I am definitely doing and still doing. But I just want to be encouraging to somebody that may have thought, or may have had these thoughts, or may have felt bad because they feel like this is something that they're considering. No, you're not giving up on your dreams. No, you're not giving up on yourself. And you don't have to. You continue to make progress towards what it is that you desire to do while you are still working and maintaining consistency for your well-being. And there's nothing wrong with that. So I just wanted to be encouraging on today. That's just some thoughts that was on my mind, because I did actually today go on an interview, which I think really went well. I'm not quite sure if it was even an interview. I kind of feel like it wasn't an interview at all, because it was more so like, you have this job, but I don't want to assume. I'm just going to see. But I think it went very well. So, I will be updating, putting some videos, updating kind of how things went. I am in my office right now getting some things together. I got a few errands to run and that sort of thing when I leave. But I did just want to do this video and just to just encourage somebody that, you're not a failure, and it's okay to fail at things also, because failing lets you know what you need to do to move forward. It lets you know what not to do. But you don't have to consider yourself a failure just because you make a decision that is not favorable to what others might think. Just know that every decision that you make sure that you are making the best decision that is going to be for your family and meet the needs of you and your family. Thank you. That's all I have for today, but I am going to be putting up more videos, kind of documenting my life and that sort of thing. So if you do have any questions, if you want to know anything about me, anything personal, or just you want to see vlogs or anything like that, just put it in the comments. Let me know how it is. Oh, wait, I did have something else I wanted to mention about specifically the job interview I went on today. So it is a job that I desire. I do want to have it. I think that I'd be good at it. I have the skills and all those things to do it. So I was praying this morning, and I said in the prayer, I said, God, because I remember the scripture that I was reading on last week. I was remembering the scripture, and the scripture said that that it was one of the kings. I can't listen. I know scripture, but it usually comes up when I need it. In this moment, it's not coming, but I know the story. So in the story, the king that was praying, he He was going into battle. He was getting ready to go into a city. He was getting ready to go into a place. And he prayed and he asked God for favor in the situation to where he was going. He said, God, when I go into this place, when I go and make contact with this king, when I go to meet face to face, can you please allow this man to have favor on me? And in asking in that prayer, it said in the scripture that God gave him favor. He gave him favor in the eyes of the man. So I remembered that this morning, and I was praying that prayer this morning because I truly wanted to have favor in the eyes of man, meaning the person that I was going in to do the interview with. And I do believe that God answered my prayer on today. So that's another thing. If you're concerned, if you got any questions or anything like that, and you just don't really know, you can pray to God and he will answer you. But you can also, I don't know if people know that or not, but you can pray and ask God for favor in your situations and he will give it to you. He will definitely grant you favor in the eyes of man in certain situations. He will definitely grant you favor. And again, I'm going to come back and update you on what happened with that situation and let you know when my start date is going to be, because I do believe that I obtained favor in the eyes of man from God just because I asked for it this morning. So if you ask for something and you believe that God is going to give it to you, just know he will definitely do it. Thank you and have a wonderful day till next time.